Hey, yo,
Woo!
it's Yogi Chander and Naviae Allora. What's up, Naviae?
Hey, Chander, looking good.
You are looking good, and
All,
so is Hawaii. Oh my gosh, what is that, sunshine?
all spiffed up. Yeah, I was just singing that. I got a pocket full of sunshine because it's a beautiful sunny day here in the tropics. Woo!
Nice. Well, there's sunshine here too. It's melting the snow away, but that means it's real messy outside. I'm looking at my parking lot out there, and it's a mess.
Aw,
But it's a pretty
yeah.
sunshine.
I love that. And I know I have friends in Colorado in the Durango area, and they talk
Pretty.
about how there's so much sun, and yes, there's snow, but it's like kind of fluffy. It's not what, like, say, Chicago is sort of like that
Yeah, normally
dingy
it's
gray.
downtown.
What you got there? Some coffee?
This is actually, yeah, it is coffee. It's mushroom coffee. It's by Four Sigmatic. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I am. It's supposed to be really good for like general immunity, but like cancer eradication and
Brain
right?
function, all kinds of things.
Brain function.
This particular one has lion's mane mushroom in it, and it's really tasty. It tastes really earthy and good.
Mm. I studied mushrooms a bit, but I'm nowhere near an expert. My favorite freaky mushroom is the cordyceps one.
Oh yes, me too. The
That's a
energy,
freaky mushroom. It's otherworldly.
otherworldly.
Yeah. Do you know the story of the cordyceps?
Is it? No, I've heard that some varieties apparently maybe come from, well, the ether or outer space or something. But tell me.
Um, so the story that I heard is that in order for them to propagate, they stick into the skulls of little animals or insects.
Whoa.
So when the mushroom spores explode, they find a host and they infect their mind and tell it to go to the highest place.
Whoa.
And it goes to the highest place and then it explodes its head and showers the spores everywhere. That's what I was told.
That's. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm still processing that.
Yeah.
What the?
So do your own research, folks, as usual, but that's what I was told. And I'm pretty sure it was cordyceps.
Wow.
Yeah. But they're,
Fascinating. I mean, mushrooms are weird things, I mean, I get along with them, but some people just don't, and I can understand why. I mean, they're an odd organism.
they are. Yeah. Mushrooms and squids
Hmm.
are the freakiest things to me.
Interesting.
Freakiest
Group
things.
them together.
They're not linked in my mind, but they're in the category of this freaks me out.
Got it. Yeah. Squids freak me out too. I've ever since I was a little kid and I was into 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and seeing that giant squid, um, I've always kind of looked at them and just been like, oh, there's some intelligence behind that. Some stuff is going on that I don't want to know about. It's
Yeah,
the way it operates, the way it moves, the way it hunts, everything. Oh,
I know.
wild.
Freak show. Um, I'm not even going to get into why I feel the way I do because it's going to be, I think, maybe a solo flight episode on my A Wandering Witch podcast. It's just such a thick, juicy story. I don't want to just say it. And it's a lot of background too. And
Wow. About the squid? Or
yeah,
got,
yeah,
yeah. Wow. Well, I look forward to hearing
yeah.
that. I can tell as we started to talk about it, I could just sort of tell that yeah, you got something.
No.
I have a lot of weird undersea associations, and I was terrified to swim when I was a kid. We even had a swimming pool in my backyard, and I wouldn't go underwater for the longest time. I finally got coaxed to, and I remember the day that happened. But still, even when I'm swimming in like a public swimming pool, I can't help it. I get a sense that something might be there, like a squid, a shark. I don't know.
Yeah.
or worse, I don't know, but something really freaks me out. And at the same time, I really love the ocean and I'd love to go scuba diving or something. But yeah, something has always been a little bit terrifying, yet familiar to me about depth in water.
I understand. I completely relate. I have this and have had this longing to be exploring the deepest depths of the ocean, but it also really terrifies me. And I forced myself to face that fear and get scuba certified. But
Nice. Good for
I was,
you.
thank you, but I was that problem, extra special needs person. I needed like an instructor dedicated to me because I was not okay.
I would be them too, probably. Yeah. Wow. I mean, like, were you actually processing phobia almost at that time? Was it that intense?
So it's so weird because I knew I was going to Honduras. I was alone. I had been
Ooh,
traveling for like 4 months alone, chicken busing, and
chicken bussin'.
yeah, and I had met people that talked about Honduras and getting scuba certified, and it was just this, I'm going to do that. And I researched it and um, connected with the school and had it all set up. And then I'm on this ferry to this little island where it's all about scuba diving, scuba schools. And the first day we have to put the regulator on and jump in shallow water. And I think to myself, oh, there's no way I'm doing this. Like all of a sudden it was like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
But it had
I could.
it had it had never occurred to me before that fear of heights would transfer to fear of depths, or that I was scarred from almost drowning a few times, or any of this. It just was all of a sudden like I got the regulator and I'm like, want me to do what? Oh. So I could have backed out, but it was kind of too late, really.
Yeah.
And I never thought I wouldn't accomplish it, or I it just kind of was like, all right, this is a big wall you need to climb over. And yeah, it was intense.
That's intense that you did that, and you kind of throw yourself in, like you said, and there's kind of no backing out, and so something within you gave you the courage and whatever else it took just to smash you through that obstacle, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I had a lot of support. I see that Barbara Charlton is here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
I
for
can't quite
stopping
read my
by.
screen.
I know I I'm also visually challenged and I'm on my phone reading the notes, but I see you. Thank you for stopping by. I love it.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
she's a
I'm glad to see
doll.
people. Yeah, yeah. I changed my setup today, and I'm visually challenged as well. Even though- but anyway, I put my computer screen kind of farther away, and so I'm like,
I know. Well, we're a good team. We're like
for
the
sure.
Gen X poster children. Can't see anything, but we're gonna keep on trucking. We're gonna make this work.
That's right. Make sure
Aw.
and type in all caps and bold if you can. Increase the font size.
Aw. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much, Yogi Chander, for doing this with me. And
Hmm.
this is like our little love baby that we just sort of bubbled up from both of us having desires and um, dreams of doing a similar kind of show. Like you had wanted to call it the Oracle Show, and I've thought for a long time about having something called the Last Chance Moon, which was like kind of like a salon where we talk about different topics. And this is going to be a oracle dedicated topic, and it's going to take place in the Last Chance Moon, which is for me that last day before the dark moon. And
Hmm.
so to qualify that, so in my mind, in my school of thought, there's the full moon and the new moon, and there's three days where that energy kind of holds. So there's the day before, day of, and day after for both the full and the new. And I
Hmm.
consider the dark moon the day before, day of, and day after the new. So there's a 3 day kind of dark moon cushion that the new moon resides within. And so we have that waning crescent leading up to the dark 3 days of the moon. This is complicated. Wow, I'm saying it. I'm like,
I'm following you. You're
you're
being
fine.
really
Okay,
cool.
okay.
Yeah. At least I
Um,
am. Yeah.
so as the moon is waning and we approach that 3 day dark, the day before the dark, in my mind, is the last chance moon. And that's when I've been meeting with my wish school students on a mentorship capacity, kind of like reviewing the moon, and maybe they want to do divination or dream work with me, that kind of thing. So my witch school cycle is actually closing today on the last chance moon. So
What do you mean the cycle? You mean the semester or whatever?
One whole wheel of the year. So
Oh.
we began on the new moon of 2020, and we're closing on the dark or last chance moon of 2021, January. So it's one complete 13 moon cycle.
What a crazy 13 months for your people as well. What an amazing.
I had no idea what I was embarking on. None of us did for 2020, right?
It's like you said, you just kind of, or like with your scuba thing, you just kind of throw yourself in the pool here, right? You just got to do it. You got your witch school, you got to go forward no matter what.
And it's so bizarre, Chander, because I went on Lighting the Void to promote my witch school on the Fringe FM back in January. Yeah, we love the Fringe and everyone.
We do love the Fringe and everyone. Word Joe, word Pacho. Keep it going.
Yeah, and Barb and Jess and it's a good crew. I just heard some feedback.
Hey, there's Keats, by the way. What's up, Keats?
Hi,
nice to see you, sir.
So, I just wanted to do my wand and I didn't bring it, and I just got sad. I need props.
Oh, here I have my little broom. We can just. What do you need me to do with it?
Just like, what's up, Keith? I need pom poms. I always need a prop.
I have wands as well, but.
Oh, you're the best, Chander.
Nah, you're the best.
Oh.
Actually, circling back to when we started, I'm really glad that we decided to do this too. And there's so many creative ideas that I have, and they can just be ideas for the longest time. I didn't think I was even interested in collaborating with anyone right away or anything, but as soon as I heard you on Nox Mente, I immediately felt kindred with you, and I felt like there were so many synchronicities and so many similarities. And when we reached out and had a conversation, we've just been such a really nice fit since then, and I've enjoyed everything we've done, and I think this is going to be really cool. And thanks for even bringing the concept of the last chance moon to me. It's new.
Well, thank you so much for stepping in as a playmate and with open possibilities, because I just feel that with you. And it was, collaboration has been in my heart for a while, but I don't know, I just had to find that pocket and also kind of prepare myself and get my own situation proven to myself or out the gate, just so I feel like I had something to offer and feel stable in my own technology.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Black Kitty.
Yeah. Hi, Black Kitty. Is that I forget the name. Kui Nut.
Kukui Nut. Yeah.
Nut.
He just walked by, did a lap. Now he's spinning himself. Yeah. He smelled something witchy going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, he knows.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a weird day. You said you had it weird too, and my energy was just it was just weird all day. I was not right, and I don't know if that had anything to do with that liminal period right before the last chance moon.
Yeah, we're in the last chance right now, and it's funny because I did a little live stream with my friend Janine on Instagram yesterday.
Nice.
She does the visible sky astrology, and I do the mind dream spell astrology, and they're really nice complements for each other. So we've been doing little live streams whenever something cool is going on, either in the actual sky or in with the dream spell, and we just kind of see how they reflect and synchronize. And we don't talk about it beforehand. She just does her thing, and we both come on and we're like, oh my god, it's always so weird. Yeah. So we were doing that yesterday, and she was sharing how the Schumann resonance of the Earth has been crazy off the charts. It's like this blinding white light in the middle of this sort of dark, bizarre. So check those out if you're interested in the like Earth resonance, the Earth humming.
I'm somewhat familiar. Yeah, I think you're on something there. That's
plus like
that.
The collective.
What you just said, how you described that reminds me of my migraines. It's like the brightest white light you can imagine in the darkest place ever. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was having 2 nights ago too. I can totally relate. Yeah. I also think we're picking up on the collective energy and the little moments that I've dipped into like my news feed on anything, and I'm just like, oh wow, okay, I don't need to be here. It's a lot. So having compassion for all of us, just whether or not we even tune in, we're part of this orb, you know.
Yes, you can't help but be affected, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't.
We're all sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, I tune into zero news sources. I don't engage in any sorts. I don't watch movies, TV. Really, I'm really almost monastic about the way I do things, except for YouTube and stuff. I mean, whatever. But what I'm saying is, I'm really not influenced heavily by, not just now, but anytime. What the masses are really going through so much. But I can't help but be more moved by things than ever right now. It's just the vibration is huge.
I know. I totally hear you. I try and limit my social media and my, dipping into any news pockets. And I just feel like if something's that important, I'll be tuned in somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have the same sort of faith, and some people, whatever, it can be seen as deluding ourselves or I don't know, escaping from things, but it's not. I mean, it's the thing is people like you and I, if we were completely tuned into everything that was going on and being as sensitive as we are, we'd explode. We'd be like a cordyceps in somebody's head.
Yeah, we have to be our own guardians with our energy and what we put our attention into, I think.
Yes, absolutely. That's probably one of the most valuable things I learned in acupuncture school was just that everything proof suit that you need to put on when you start to interact with others.
Yeah, be in your little bubble and for being your own protector, being your own guardian, being your own gatekeeper with what you allow yourself to filter and process.
You see, that's interesting because my whole life I got interested in martial arts, and it became a way of life for me when I was young. And many times I've questioned why, because I'm not a violent person. I've successfully avoided violent encounters so far, and I just, there's not a lot about me that enjoys that whole thing, but something always drove me to study it anyways. And anyway, I think now it's for what you just said. It's for that ability to be a warrior within oneself, and to be strong and protect oneself and put, appropriate boundaries up and things. That's what I needed to learn all that stuff.
Yeah. And there's no need for violence if you feel that you're prepared for it. It almost seems like,
right.
The whole goal of a lot of the martial arts I've heard about is to avoid, an actual confrontation. So it sort of trains you to be like solid as an individual that doesn't need to like, I don't know, tout how, kick ass you are.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah.
Right?
Right. In fact, it rarely has come up. It's kind of weird for me to talk about even being a martial artist now. I mean, I kept so on the down low in my life just because you do. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh no, you're good.
My brain is all over the place, and I'm not really good with linear tracks. Sometimes I kind of float back and forth. So feel free to pull me back in whenever I do.
Yeah,
But
and
oh, go ahead.
same. Yeah, and
You are
one
the
of the
same,
best,
aren't you?
yeah, for sure. And one of the best compliments that someone's ever paid me was they said, "You're so nonlinear." And
Nice.
I don't know if that was meant as a slam or as a compliment or just neutral, but I took it as a great compliment. I was like, "Thank you so much like, for saying that," because I
Yeah.
don't really want to be linear.
Linear is so predictable and boring. Wow. I mean, it's good.
Yeah,
It's consistent, I guess. Not to slam you linear people, but I like being nonlinear.
yeah. I think we need both, just like we need morning people and evening people or night
Yeah.
owls. I think we need both in the collective, and it's okay that we're all different. And it's just how I happen to be and naturally flow.
Yes.
Um,
We
should
can be
we?
annoying to linears though sometimes, right? I mean, I know people get annoyed with my non-linear lineality sometimes, linearity.
I'm not around that many people these days
I mean,
that
either.
poke at me about it. But when I was younger, I did feel that um, just not fitting well, being on a different groove than most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But I don't know, somewhere like around my Saturn return, I just embraced it
Mm,
and just went with it. Like
nice.
27-ish, it was just like, all right, you know. But
Yeah.
that's a whole other story. Hey, should we talk a bit about the format of the show or what the yeah, I mean we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about it, but maybe we should be more clear.
Yeah,
What
for
do you think?
sure. Yes, and I think it's funny that you were talking about that you had wanted to do a saloon show because we were just joking around or we were talking about this show and I jokingly said let's talk
Salon.
about Moon Salon or Saloon. And
It could be a saloon.
it could be a saloon or a salon, right? I think that's really funny. I had in mind like an old West saloon, let's pull up and have a highball or whatever. And
Or sarsaparilla is more like
that's
it.
That's exactly it. When I was a kid, my mom used to go to the hairdresser a lot. It was a big thing for her, and sometimes she would take me. But she said she'd call it the salon. It was time to go to the salon, and I always would call it the saloon. And they would kind of tease me about it. I was too little to really understand, but they thought that was funny that my mom was going to the saloon for the afternoon.
Oh gosh. And I love how it's still kind of like making its way into your thoughts now. It's
Yeah,
it's still, well, it is kind of like a female saloon, the
the salon is like a female
hairdressing
saloon.
salon. It's an
Hmm.
equivalent sort of like in, women go and commiserate just like men would go and commiserate.
For
I think
sure.
more of like saloon with men drinking, and the only women there in my mind are like can girls.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I know exactly what you
We're
mean.
off on a tangent, Yogi.
Sitting on the piano. Um,
Yeah, come up
that's
and see me sometime. That's where we're
now I
going.
wonder, I, now I wonder about the etymology of that. Like I haven't even considered that before. Salon, saloon. There's got to be a root thing there.
Salon.
I got to find out what it is now. I don't know.
I know that is the word salon also has to do with like with Nish's cosmic salon. It's like a gathering place of um it's like a format for people to come and share ideas, but
Almost like an
also
interactive gallery of things, right?
yeah, and I also know that some folks call their living room or gathering room the salon.
I've heard
Come into
that.
my salon. It's like a front room, like a formal entertaining room.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that, and it's been a long time, but
I
interesting.
know. I love word origins. We'll have to come
Me
back
too.
with. I mean, we could call it the Last Chance Moon Saloon because that's got a ring.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I kind of in my mind, that's the funny thing, and it just occurred to me today. Something about salon. I don't know, but yeah, so it's hilarious.
Oh my God, we're a pair. We're a couple of I don't know somethings.
Well, let's go off on the word tangent anytime because I love exploring words, and all words are very interesting when you look at them, especially when you compare them to other words that are like them. even if they're
Yeah.
seemingly unrelated. Anyway.
I also want to say that this is not breakfast wine. It's
Really?
water.
Really? Because I have
It's
vodka and orange juice. I'm just kidding. It's not. There's excellent.
I love to drink my water out of fancy glasses.
Nice. You
Yeah,
should.
it makes me feel special.
Do you drink structured water by chance?
Mm-mm.
That's something that's new to me. I heard about recently and have been looking into it. I want to try some structured water.
Mm.
So yeah, anyway, I've taken it so far off track. You were starting off by saying, let's have some clarity about the format of the show. Let's go back.
So every last chance moon, Chander and I are going to gather in the saloon and invite you all to come along. And we're going to have a little chat about exploring different forms of divination or oracle arts. And each month we're picking a different topic and collaborating and sharing and maybe doing some sample readings in that specific oracle tradition.
That sounds fun just hearing you say it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, good. And yeah, it's going to be the last chance moon whenever possible. It might be maybe not quite the day before the dark starts, but in that window, we're shooting for it. And yeah, this month, this last chance moon is going to be on Mayan Dream Spell Astrology, which is one of my favorites.
Mayan Dream Spell Astrology.
Yeah. And we're going to decode Chander.
What? Little old me?
We're going to decode him.
This
decode
is
his panning. Say what?
You just went with the, that's funny, good wordplay. I was like, this is a total surprise. I wasn't prepared for this. And I'm just kidding. We did talk about it, but I have no idea what the reading entails. I mean, I haven't heard a thing from you about this, and I haven't done any research at all. I like to take it in fresh from the source. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's good. And I was working your chart up last night, and it's so interesting because our rapport is similar to others that I've had with your tribe, actually. And
Naviae, I'm so sorry. I have to say I just lost everything you just said because I was trying to read Barbara's comment. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I don't even have the chat on, folks. I'm sorry.
Let me see. I'm going to put it up on the screen real quick. I did a moment ago. Can you read that? Naviae and Yogi Chander. I'm getting.
Oh, I see. I'm getting hit with the divine feminine from all angles. Are you seeing the energy around this growing? The divine feminine.
Can you say that again?
It says Naviae and Yogi Chander. And this is from Barbara Charlton. Naviae and Yogi Chander, I am getting hit with the divine feminine from all angles. Are you seeing the energy around this growing?
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing that. It's amazing how many times that notion has come around from others. I feel like it's the divine feminine speaking to me, and it's, a strange way through others. And yeah, I definitely do. And I notice that's interesting what you say about the glow. I see auras and things sometimes.
I don't see what you're talking about, glow.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what she means, but
No,
I have seen.
She's saying, are you seeing the energy around us growing?
Oh, growing.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because the glow is, to me, it's more like a permeating. It's almost like, okay, I'm not talking about the literal sun, but it's almost like the light of the sun is greater somehow, but it's not the sun. It's the growing energy is. I mean, to me, things are taking on a somewhat of a different visual quality, and I mean, I'm actually noticing that the luminosity of things. Sorry, that's really strange. What's your impression of what she said?
Um, I think she's talking about the amping up of the empowerment of women and how like the goddess spirituality is kind of getting louder.
Yes, yeah.
Um, but I don't know if I'm necessarily feeling that or seeing that or witnessing that. I was way tuned into that like around my Saturn return that I was talking about. And I think it might be an individual thing for her. That's what she's all of a sudden tuning into for whatever
Yeah.
reason. But I really don't know. I'm personally not witnessing that because I think I'm already really immersed in it. But
Nice.
I don't know.
I want to qualify. It's not like I'm not saying that I am seeing. I'm not just agreeing with her, but I am seeing a difference, though. I'm seeing, and it's for me, it is a lot visual, and there is luminescence about things. It's a little bit different, and that divine feminine notion has been coming around to me recently, as I said. But I'm not. Again, I agree with you in that it's not necessarily. I'm not seeing it as a like a group thing that's rising. Like I don't see it as a comment. I'm not around that many people, but I'm not seeing that as like a group movement or anything, or an energy that's rising as the goddess power or anything necessarily. But I think that you're onto something about it being where she's at right now, and that's true for all of us, especially right now. Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah,
there are
we're all
things that
kind
are
of on our
seen.
own individual journey, and I know that whatever we need to be experiencing, we're being shown, and we're
Mm-hmm.
being like lights is lighting up for us because um on the contrary, I actually feel like I'm tuning more into the divine masculine energy
Hmm.
of things and of the divine aspect the divine male aspect of earth has been coming to me.
Hmm.
So so Barb, I'm kind of tuning into the opposite right now. So that's why I
Wow.
think it might be an individual thing, like what your high self is reflecting, or maybe.
Interesting.
Keats is saying, I need a retraction on mine, Naviae, just JK. I don't know.
I'm not sure what I can't. Again, I can't read these. Thank you for reading. Here's something from Barbara too.
Barbara saying, I am being referred to activating the Sophia code, the return of the Sophia.
That's interesting because this place that I'm tangentially involved with is doing a Sophia program right now, and that was kind of their big thing for the year. And yeah, so interesting. I'm not into it or a part of that right now, but it's you're not alone in that.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I'm not tuned into it. It's not my work, or it's not um, something that I'm needing, or something that I'm attracting. It's outside of my, or maybe it's just something I'm already doing and don't even need to focus on. It's like sort of a liminal experience that I'm just having. But I think that's awesome. We need more balance in the energetic world that we're living in, for sure.
For sure. I kind of for me too. It's like I'm not. It's sort of a general awareness. Like it's outside of my focus area, but it's still on my peripheral vision somehow. So like the Sophia thing, and tying that to the idea of Gnosticism and Hermeticism and all those different aspects of things that I'm familiar with a little bit, and I agree with to some extent, but aren't really part of my thing, right? But I can tell that those are really powerful things, and they're speaking. Um, they're speaking right now. All those things are speaking right now.
Yeah, when she says the Sophia, activating the Sophia code, it's not something I know what that is. Like, I think it's a book, or I don't really
But
know.
I'm
Maybe
not familiar either. But
it's not something I'm familiar with, Barbara, but I know what the Sophia energy is. Um, I don't know, but it sounds really cool. Yeah, and I'm
um,
glad that the goddess energy is stepping in
indeed.
more, and however that's coming in a positive, healing way, I'm all for it.
For sure, yes.
Yeah.
Be friends with it. Hello, Charles Williams. What's a happening, sir? I got to do something about being able to read this chat. Maybe I could put it up on the phone or something.
Yeah.
Pardon me while I do that, but I appreciate everybody being here. Right? This is cool that we have some people in our saloon. Who
love
wants
it.
sarsaparilla?
Sidle up for some sarsaparilla. Yogi Chander, should I get into your reading?
Let's do it. Please do. I'm all ears. Now, this is different than our than the astrology that everybody's familiar with from like the newspapers and stuff. Now, probably everybody who's watching this already knows where we're coming from on this. But for instance, I'm a Scorpio, yeah, and I've got lots of Scorpio, and I've always identified heavily with that identity, I guess. It's strange because I mean, really deeply. And even though I haven't pursued astrology much, it just resonates, right? And so to discover that that isn't necessarily what my sign is interesting to me, and it makes me wonder. Well, did I put that upon myself from hearing the stories of others, or is that some sort of egregore sort of a thing that was put upon me just because that's what's expected of Scorpios, or did it all just develop naturally and it's a companion to the Mayan astrology?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna probably do another oracle show on visible actual sky, and we can dive into your actual sky chart versus
Awesome.
the tropical. I think that would be fun to do. But yeah, the Mayan galactic, the Mayan dream spell story is not based on the constellations or the planetary bodies. They were mapping the frequencies coming from galactic center. So it's something different. It's apples and oranges to the tropical or the Vedic, or it's not. There's no comparison to the other. Like I can't even like.
So you got to empty your cup, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just see it as its own standalone system.
Yeah, I can do that. That's cool. That's refreshing, actually.
Yeah. So verses 20, there's versus most people are familiar with like 12, or in actual sky there's 13 zodiac signs. But the Mayan signs, they have 20 different tribes.
20.
So those are sort of comparable to zodiac signs, sort of, but they're kind of their own thing too. So
I remember you mentioning that. Did you call them the I forget, don't they have a name? Like as a group, those 20 signs?
they're called tribes.
Fair.
The different 20 tribes are solar tribes.
Or they consider archetypes, I guess is what I'm thinking.
They're very much like archetypes. Yeah. Okay. And then the tones are also factored in. So it's the tribe and the tone together that makes your galactic signature. And the tones are kind of like a scale of music.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And everyone falls in on a note.
What?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow. Explain.
So every 13 days, there's a wave spell or a frequency that kind of comes out. And in the recent podcast I just did, I was explaining to Nish, because I decoded her on that episode. That was really fun.
I chose not to watch that because I didn't want to be colored with Mayan astrology or anything for today. So I'm going to watch it tonight.
Yeah. So I was explaining how the wave spell is likened to snapping a sheet when you make your bed at night or in the day. And so the hand that's snapping the sheet, the hand that's snapping the sheet to make it lay on the bed, that hand initiates the wave spell. So whatever tribe starts that wave
Wow.
spell on day 1, it's like they're snapping the sheet, and then for 13 days the sheet is falling and lying and laying on the
Yeah.
bed. and
Yes.
and that wave is like, for visual sake, that wave is like, that's the experience, and we're all experiencing it. Everyone on the planet is going through the wave spell together. And
Wow.
the tribe that starts and initiates that wave is sort of coloring and flavoring and you know informing that motion and that experience. So that's why I do wave spell updates on my Patreon, because people that are trying to learn mind astrology, it's a lot, but at least, like, here's the wave that we're entering, pay attention, heads up, this is what it's going to, this is the at least qualities and keywords and framework of what to expect. And that's why I do these wave spell updates. That's why it's important, so you can kind of like be at the top of the wave and be like, okay, here it comes, and then
Yeah.
you go. So
So you're
the
teaching them
wave
how to surf.
surfing, yeah, it is, and I love to surf. I'm not very good at it, but
Mhm.
it's one of my most like spiritual experiences when I've actually caught a wave. Um, but
That's something my soul's calling for. I want that experience, definitely. Cool.
yeah.
Anyway,
So
surfing
the
this realm.
surfing the Zavuya is a term in the Mayan stuff. Surfing the Zavuya,
Nice.
which is a whole other. But okay, so the wave that people come in on, that they're born into, is really important. It's almost as important as the tribe,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Hmm.
And um, honestly, I always find it's like the next layer back. Like, here's your, like, I'll do in my readings, I'll be like, here's your tribe and tone, which makes your galactic signature. And then the next layer back is the wave that they come in on. And that's what I want to know myself,
Wow.
because it's so juicy. And that's where I see all the synchronicities with people. And I'll
Wow.
explain that with you. So,
Cool.
yeah,
Man, this is resonant. That's awesome.
yeah, it's it's a great system. And people have contacted me and have asked me how they can learn. And um, I mean, and are there any good books out there?
Hmm.
I didn't learn from books. I learned from going and living with a teacher for 8 or 10 months, I guess,
Nice.
and just like lived, breathed it, and went
Living.
out and had to really grok it that way, because it's not such a linear system in a lot of ways. In some ways, it is. It's really like math and numbers, and I can't believe I can even do it because I'm stunted with all that stuff for some reason.
Hmm. Hmm.
My fairy DNA doesn't know how to compute. It's like too linear, I guess.
Yeah.
But the Mayan stuff, I'm like, oh, that's 13 and then 20 and blah, 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 blah. And
Mm.
people are like, it's so much math. But
It's
somewhere I know it. I think I come in with that or something, but
I
relearning
did.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, yeah, it's not my thing,
It's
but it
not your
is in this
natural
case.
way of going about things or understanding things, right? But
Yeah.
it's on another level for you, that you don't have to really consciously approach. Yeah.
Mhm. It's it's
Fascinating.
it's been like a remembering in a lot of ways. So this is a chart that my teacher gave me back in 2002. It's old, it's laminated 3 times, it's falling apart, but I can't part with it, so I keep
It's the
using
best.
it. She's passed away onto another realm now, and I don't have a lot of things that she gave me, and I'm just gonna keep using it. It's full of magic and her energy, so bear with the
Is this
dilapidation of it all. But
that's awesome? It's a magical thing because of that. So is it this is how you is this like your reference material?
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, um I'm not really digital with the mind stuff. I just go use my chart, and um Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
there are sites that I can get a quick calculation if I don't have this handy, but I prefer to use this. Um, also
I
because it's something that she passed down to me.
yeah, there's a magical connection there when you interact with it. I
Yeah.
think I don't think there's any shame in referencing things like I mean my brain works very similarly to yours I think in a lot of ways and yeah it's like I have to I have a lot of knowledge and lots going on but sometimes for facts and figures and things I've got to have it written I've got to refer to something else because it's not going to be in here where I need it.
I
It's there
understand
the
that.
concept but not the detail of that numbers and things.
Yeah. So I want to show folks the Zolkin. So this is a 260-day matrix, and every day falls in one of these squares. Everyone born has fallen in one of these squares.
Nice.
Okay. So
I'm gonna
after,
make your
yeah,
screen bigger. Hang on. How do I do this? I'm trying to make you bigger, Naviae. I'm not trying to do that. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
knowing where you are in this matrix is really important also. Um, so are you ready to hear what your tribe and tone is?
I think so.
Okay,
Lay it on.
you're a yellow galactic seed.
Yellow galactic seed.
Yeah. And
I'm
so the
taking
yellow
notes.
means something, the galactic means something, and the seed means something. The if I just said to someone who was fluent in the calendar, if I just said he's a seed, they would know that yellow is understood. The
Oh,
seed's always yellow.
okay.
Okay. And the yellow just means that you're part of the yellow clan, which is the ripeners.
The
And
ripeners.
ripeners, yeah, it's and that's a little more down the road. Maybe I can explain it to you like off camera because it's kind of
Sure.
like a lot to dive
Okay.
into the colors. But that's the basic of it. It's like the ripening energy. If you think of like what the sun does to things growing, it's like it brings it into that juicy, ripened state.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The
I
seed is
know,
all about. Yeah. Okay.
and the seed tribe, it's in the input subset. It's right up here. So it's the first of four tribes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
Okay.
so there's four different colors, and they move in groups into like throughout these 20 tribes, right? And you are part of that first group. So it goes red, white, blue, yellow, and that's the first set. So you're in that initial set, and that's important. It's like
Okay.
your initiator.
Well,
You're
that's okay.
Yeah, you're an initiator and you're a ripener at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I know. And that's part of the cool thing about the seed. My dad was actually a seed, which is interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Now I don't know what to compare it to, but that does sound very, yeah, that rings true.
well, it's like now that you're going to get kind of dipped into the magic of the calendar, you're going to want to decode everyone you know and be like, what was my mom? What was my best friend? What was my, you're going to
Yeah.
want to know people around you. And that's what happens is that it gets like really interesting to see how the interpersonal relationships are. That's where I find the magic because people that want relationship readings with the Mayan, that's one of my next to the Akashic record past life stuff, that's my most juicy fun reading to do as a oracle. I love
Wow.
to see it's like, oh, well, your daughter, your son, and so are all this, and you make this together. That's where it gets like super juicy. Okay.
Yeah, to see how it's interacting and they're playing together. Yeah, see it live and stuff. I dig.
Yeah.
I don't have any relationships to explore right now, but I know that I will once. I mean, I want to explore this once I do. I'm definitely the same way, and I love
Well,
to
I mean,
figure things out like that.
even just seeing like what Keats is and what Nish is and what I am and other folks that you're playing with in the playground.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, that is,
Hmm.
you know, a lot of cool relationship looking into the looking glass there.
For sure, especially because the way that we have drawn into each other's community is just, it's very surreal, esoteric, but it's real, it's tangible. There's a reason why we specifically came into each other's spheres. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Let me read to you your galactic affirmation.
Please.
So yellow galactic seed, Kin 164. So I want to take a breath.
What was that thing you said?
I just wanted to take a breath.
Oh.
I harmonize in order to target, modeling awareness. I seal the input of flowering with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of elegance, which is the yellow star tribe. So that's your guide, is the yellow star. Yellow star is art and beauty and elegance. When I say you're guided by, that's the tribe that you look to if you're lost, if you feel like you're uncentered in yourself. That tribe energy, we all have a guide, a different guide tribe. And it's like our higher octave that we want to tune into. So it's like if you feel, you're not in your purpose, or you're like, that old tape of like, I'm not worth anything, or I don't know what I'm doing, or that like spun out sense that we all get, right? That's what you put your grappling hook into and go, okay, yeah, I need to anchor with this energy of like, how can I make my life more beautiful? How can I create art? What is my art? How can I kind of like make things feel elegant in my environment, that I feel like refined, juice, instead of feeling like clutter or unhinged, or right?
Yeah, like yes, yes. Change the environment for a growth paradigm. Don't get stuck in what's bringing me down. Yeah, I feel yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and the seed is such a cool tribe, and this is a bigger image of the glyph.
Wow,
The seed.
I like that.
Yeah. So some of the energy of it is like, it's a fertile energy, it's a dynamic energy, it's a sexual energy, and as far as like needing to create and put the energy out there.
Yeah.
And some of my peeps that are seeds, one of my best friends was a seed. She actually passed away a few years ago. But we were great friends, and we did road trips together and had a really cool synchronistic sisterhood together. I have a couple of really good seed friends.
Well, what are you, real quick?
Say again?
What are you, real quick?
I'm a red overtone moon.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The power of universal water and flow. And we're actually in the same family. There's 5 different families, 4 tribes each, and our family is in what they call the gateway. We're the gateway family, which is a little more like advanced out there, but just know
gateway
that
my world in so many weird ways. Keep going.
Yeah. The red moon, the yellow seed, the blue storm, and the white wizard are all in the gateway family. And that's also why the seed and the moons get along so well, is because your family owns the day that you were born. So I'm born July 11th, right? So my birthday will always land on a seed day, a moon day, a storm, or a wizard. Always.
Really?
And same with your birthday.
Wow. Okay.
So every 4th year, you're a moon.
Oh, that makes sense now that I'm thinking about that. And okay, yes.
And every 4th year, I'm a seed. this year, my birthday was actually a cosmic seed year, cosmic seed day. So I've been in my cosmic seed year all this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm under the influence of that, but I'm in a different. I'm not under. I'm not in the seed influence this year. Is that what you're saying?
Let's see. I wrote it down what you were. Oh, shoots. I don't know. I don't have that paper right now.
That's okay.
But every year on your birthday, it's like you have your origin tribe and tone that you are, right? But then every year, so that like when you were born, it was an 8 seed, which is galactic, right?
Okay.
And then the next year on your birthday, you were a 9 moon. And then the
Hmm.
next year, you were a 10 wizard. And then the next year on your birthday, you were an 11 storm. And then you were a 12 seed, and then a 13 moon, and then end of
14
wave
degrees.
spell, and then you start 1 again, and then you're a 1 wizard.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's always 1 to 13. So it's moving through. Oh, it's 11, 11. It's moving through. If you think of the tribes as like 20 gears, and the tones as 13 gears, it's like they're connecting and making this 260-day matrix. Yeah. It's
Wow.
it's a
Okay.
cool system. That's like the overview, but that's why we're connected. It's because we're in the same gateway family, and we wear the mask of each other every fourth year on our birthdays. So I've
Oh.
experienced seed energy, and you've experienced moon energy because
Mm.
we have that overlay on our birthdays. That's why I like to do like yearly forecasts with people or like birthday readings, is because you get to see what new energy you're holding for that year. You're always a galactic seed underneath, but then you kind of wear this like layer, the shroud, and you're walking through the year to experience a different aspect of your family. For us,
Yeah.
it's the gateway family. Yeah, the portal openers. That's what our collective family does. Opens the portals.
I wrote down something about portals earlier today. That's yeah. Wow. Okay. And also, I don't know if you know, but Chander, my spiritual name, has reference to the moon, and the moon is
Oh
always
yeah, Chandra. I know Chandra is moon. Oh, I didn't
yeah,
even think
that's
of
the
that.
female of Chander. Yeah.
That's so cool. I know. I have a Sanskrit name too.
Really,
Mhm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Anusuya.
What does that mean or refer to?
It means kindness.
It
Yeah.
fits.
Um, when the guru gave me the name, it said Anusuya, one who has controlled her anger, jealousy, and hate. I was like, thanks, Baba. Like, why? And
You're destined to anyway.
yeah, and I realized that he had given me my work
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
instead of showing me the results. Um,
Yes,
but
I was just
all
kind of intuiting that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. But it was funny because all the other people that I had talked to with these cool Sanskrit names, um, like lured me in with the glamour of them. And I thought, I want to get a Sanskrit name. I want to be the vine of love. I want to be, queen of the night. They had all these cool names. And then I get mine and I'm like, anger, jealousy, hate controller, you know?
That's
And
power,
then,
but I know what you mean.
yeah. And then I went and lived in British Columbia, and it was run by women, and the sister center up there, and everyone's going by their Sanskrit name, so it wasn't an unusual thing. And I met another woman who had like Anusuya. It wasn't a common name that people had, and I met a woman who knew another Anusuya that was in their community up in Canada, and she said, that it means kindness. And I said, that's not what the Baba told me. And she said, oh, he did that so you would see, like the work before you. She's like, well, what would someone who controlled their anger, jealousy, and hate be? She's like, kind.
Kind. Yeah.
And then I went and researched in the Ramayana that mythological, quote unquote, Anusuya, where the name comes from, and I understood it so much better. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I would expect no less.
Well, that's a fun aside. I just wanted to,
Right?
I love that you go by your Sanskrit name. That was encouraged because it was like every time someone, hits you with that name, it's like they're helping you to bust through that karma or block or attain that higher octave that we're going for.
Yes, and I never considered going by any other name my entire life, but when I had my Kundalini awakening and that huge experience, it was appropriate timing. And I was also a little disappointed with my name. I was like, oh, I kind of expected some like a, I don't know, something
Shiva
different.
Shambho.
What?
Shiva Shambho.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. Like, in fact, people have, two very intuitive people have said that I was Shiva in some form. Aren't we all? But I mean specifically. So that's interesting you said that. But yeah, I expected some kind of fierce warrior like something, and like moon. Okay. And then what it really means, Chander Ardas Singh, is it refers to my ability to uplift others through the power of my sacred connection and prayer. And to turn negative situations into something bright, like the moon itself lighting up in the night, kind of thing.
That's beautiful. Did you say Hardas?
Ardas, Ardas. Okay. That means prayer. Chander Ardas Singh. So it's like a moon prayer. The fierce lion of God who sings the moon prayer is like how I think of it.
Wow. Because the guru that I lived in the community with was Haridas.
Haridas.
Baba Haridas.
What's that mean?
I don't know what Haridas means.
Oh, but it sounds like Ardas. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never researched what I know. Das is like servant of. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting. I haven't
looked. Shame on me. I should know that. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, fun aside, that's fascinating. So the moon is, no wonder I resonate with the moon. I get along with you and these energies and stuff. And the archetype of the wizard and then the storm also have been huge in my life.
Wow. I was having like a difficult time connecting all the families, and I asked for like a story from the calendar, and it's really interactive for me. It like teaches me. I'll ask for a teaching and it'll teach me, and it's just like straight from the wisdom of the calendar. Now that my teacher has passed, and I for some reason I don't trust books around it. Isn't that weird? I'm so like into reading about different things, but with the mind, I'm like, no, I'm gonna ask the calendar. It's like I just go straight oracular. Yeah.
Straight to the source. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I try and like encourage people to be their own mystical portal with things.
Yeah. Yes.
And just because someone wrote a book on, say it.
You open a portal for people in that way, right?
Oh, I guess so. You're opening a portal right now in your StreamYard.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, just because people wrote a book 2,000 years ago or last year, or someone else received it from spirit, we're all receiving from spirit. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Just because someone's mystic vision is louder or more obtainable or more public doesn't, in my opinion, validate it anymore than what I receive or what you receive or what Barbara Charlton receives. We're all receiving and imbued with and are essentially the divine energy. So
yes,
I just want to empower people to be their own, fountain of mystical information.
Damn, I am so in agreement with you. I mean, that's like foundational for me. I just don't, I don't want to hear somebody preach to me. I want God, I want to talk to God or whatever, that I'm, Yes, and
Yeah.
we each have our own little variations of things, and it's no less valid than anybody else's. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Beautifully
Yeah.
said.
So I mean, that's a good point to bring up in the Force Oracle show. Is
Yeah, right.
be your own oracle and learn how to trust that voice inside. And these are all just tools, and I relish in them. I love the tools and the, you know, um, ritual of things.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
but and it's just different ways to get to the center, to the no space, to the knowing.
mhm.
Maybe that's like probably the biggest point I could make in this whole shindig. you know
Yeah.
but they're fun, and they're fun systems, and they're fun pathways, and they're fun to dance in that liminal with. And I live for that. It's so fun for me. It's like
We,
one of the best things about life for me is exploring the mystical realm.
awesome. I love you, Naviae.
Oh,
And
I
I'm the
love you
same way.
too, Yogi Chander.
Thank you. Wow. I mean, that's yes. Yes. I lost what I was going to say exactly, but yes.
Yeah. um would you like me to read a bit about the seed tribe?
Um, yes, but actually, I think I did have something I wanted to say. Can you kind of go back to what you just said again? What was it? Give me some trigger or something from the last thing you said. Maybe do you remember?
Be our own mystical fountain.
Oh, well, I don't know if this is well. One thing I was thinking was that oh, I know what it was. You mentioned something about my appreciation for elegance or something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so
That's
I agree. Oh,
your guide tribe.
my guide tribe.
Yeah.
So I do, and I think that like I agree with what you were just saying, and like I think like I'm very zen on one level, and that like it's just straightforward practical stuff and forget all the bullshit. But on the other hand, it's so cool to have all the different beauty of the different pathways and things and the tools and rituals and things, and that's the elegance, and I love it. But I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like I've gone on that journey in an extreme way of
Oh,
like,
no, sorry.
you know,
What back?
yeah, and I've come back to a place of like it's okay to have possessions, it's okay to have hair, it's okay to have adornments.
Hmm.
And I know
Yeah.
that that doesn't define me, that's not who I am, but it sure is fun to be in the material world and make use of all this,
Yep.
you know.
Sure.
um but I think identification with them, or um you know like watching hoarding tendencies, and from being in the Ashtanga yoga community, or whatever yoga community you were in, um
Really.
the aparigraha, not hoarding. We used to have aparigraha sales
Mhm.
where it was like, get rid of your clutter, get rid of what you don't need. I need to
Yeah.
do that. That's what's loud for me right now. I have like all this fabric that I'm going to make projects with. It's like
Yeah.
creative dungeon for me is being a witch and being like a weaver and a creative person. It's like I have
Yeah.
all this like potential stuff that I'm
Yeah.
going to, I don't want to throw this out because it's going to be this, and I don't
Yeah.
want to just throw anything away. I want to transform it into art or creation.
Yes.
That is
Same.
like a lot of stuff in my closet.
Even still, it's that way for me. And I've when I had my Kundalini experience, we'll talk about it sometime. But I got rid of absolutely everything. Like I don't have family heirlooms and things anymore. I there are just a couple of papers and things that I have. I have no clothes, nothing from back then. Nothing. I lived with nothing, and it was not something I was comfortable with or ever expected to have. But it's interesting, and that's a hard thing to do. Is like there was a time leading up to that when I was consciously getting rid of things and minimalizing and stuff, and I didn't know why, but I was doing it, and I came across those same things. Like I had all these wonderful projects, and they were all awesome, but you got to let go of them sometime if they're not going to take shape, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. And it's, we're talking about the divine feminine earlier, and I feel like, that is a pendulum that is swinging, back to middle in a lot of ways. And I think that because I mean, we've not talked about this, but I also gave away everything I owned and walked nomadically without possessions for like 7 years. So I didn't know that about you, but we've been
No,
on
I didn't
really.
know that. You did 7 years. I only did a year or so. 7 years. Holy shit.
Yeah. And again, it didn't start out like I'm going to do this. It just was like I left a toxic relationship, and after a few months of sort of like grieving and getting myself together, um I decided to travel and do festivals, and then put all my stuff in storage for that time, and then ended up um I mean, hook it by crook, I ended up selling my car, moving to Hawaii the first time, finding my teacher, doing the mind astrology intensives with her. And I was here for 5 or 6 months, and my friend the where all my stuff was stored in was in Chicago. I have a great community there still. I could cry with those folks that supported me through all this. And my friend messaged me and he said, "Hey, your stuff's still here. Are you coming back?" Like, it's like a full basement full of stuff. I had posh stuff, gorgeous furniture and statuary and jewelry and clothes, and I had been like relishing in like the pagan priestess world for almost a decade with all this. I mean, you accumulate a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
doing rituals and all this. So
Yes.
I I just said to him, I just typed, "Just give it away," and hit send, and was like, but it was
Wow.
so real of like, well, all you need is this backpack. You've only had this backpack for 7, 8, 10 months, whatever it was at that time. What do you really need? And don't be attached. And I just let it go. And then after that, I didn't have a car, I didn't have a partner, I didn't have possessions. Then I shaved my head, I didn't have hair. It was like,
Yeah.
who are you without this, without that, without that, without this, without them,
Who
And
are you without those things?
just got to such a little nugget of I, soul self or whatever. But that too, the wandering becomes addictive, and the non-possessions becomes addictive. And then
Yep.
it's like
Yep.
at,
I
at
saw
some
that.
point you need to come back to center of like, well, don't demonize having possessions. We're in a physical plane.
Yep. Hmm.
Um, so I think
We're not just around for temptations and shit for us to avoid so that we're good. You know?
yeah, coming back into balance, seeing how it can be useful and enjoyed. And just like you're saying with the art, your higher octave as art. It's like, things are art. Your art.
Yes.
Expression is art. Everything can be art if done with that mindset, if done with that heart set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. You mentioned something. I'm going way off our reading. Let's get back to it in a sec. But the tone thing too was major because I haven't heard you talk about my tone yet, and I don't know if you've heard me mention this, but not long ago, I this concept came to me, like sort of in a dreamish sort of a thing. I don't know, but it was the concept of being reincarnated as a song.
As a song? Oh, wow.
Just that concept. I'm not saying that I am or I will, or just that concept is something that I mean, think about that. Imagine being reincarnated as a song.
Oh, wow.
And so that, and tonality, vibration, sound, all that stuff is enormous to me spiritually, and it's the foundation for me. And so that's I'm the tonality aspect of what you're talking about intrigues me.
Yeah. Do you play harmonium?
Oh, I wish I had musical skill. No, and harmonium's fun. I do kirtan dancing a lot, and I'd
Me
like to.
too.
Do you do harmonium? No, you don't play it.
No, I don't play any instrument. I I blow into the harmonica for fun, and I do like the gong and singing bowls and a
You mean
little
like
bit
a
of.
big gong or just a gong?
It's a handheld. It's maybe like, I don't know, diameter, but
Hmm,
I'll bring it on one time. I've
cool.
I've done it on some live streams with Janine on Instagram, and I do it for my Reiki. I do a full moon Reiki distance boost from some of my patrons,
Wow.
and I do a sound healing guided meditation, and then I send the distance Reiki, you know, so that in real time they can receive it, and it's like a preparatory thing that they can lay down and have earbuds or speakers and listen to the sound healing and kind of cruise in
Well, your
to.
Patreons are spoiled. You know that? All these other creators are going to have to step up.
Aw, I love it. It's a way to. We were talking about it yesterday. It's like a way to kind of dabble all the stuff I'm into different tiers for folks that might have similar interests or desire to learn more about it or experience it.
I love
Um,
that. And I was only kidding about other creators. Like some of the other creators that we're aware of have amazing reasons to be a Patreon member. And I mean, I love the way that
Heck
you
yeah,
love your people. I love it.
yeah. I think it's nice because, uh, and I chose not to have children, and I
Me
think
too.
it's not. Yeah, I think that it's nice that I have a bit of the surplus energy that might have been funneled into, or for sure would have been funneled into, rearing children or raising children or whatever, that I
Yes.
get to give to like a bigger collective.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
I
So
feel that.
should I touch on your tone, Chander?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay. So here,
What
let me
did
get my old chart. Huh?
Keats had a little message, something about Jethro Tull and the Dharma Bums. I'm not sure.
Dharma for one, Jethro Tull. I don't know what that means. I know Jethro Tull. I've seen Jethro Tull in concert.
Oh wow, really?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah. In the
I was
90s.
thinking of a song. Oh my God, that's so weird because I just saw a band.
Aqualung.
I
I
saw a
saw,
band that did a cover of a Jethro Tull song, and I was just thinking of them this morning. I saw them at 88 or 9, probably. That's weird.
yeah. I saw Roots to Branches concert.
Who?
Yeah. The album was Roots to Branches.
Oh, Roots to Branches. Oh, the album. Yes. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. Awkward. Wow.
Gen X in the house.
Yeah, that's right.
We're like double Gen X over here. Okay,
I know.
so this is my old. I need to get more visuals for you guys, but I don't know if you can even see this. So this is just a little chart I have that talks about the 1 to 13 frequencies, and you're falling in number 8, which is the galactic tone. And I was
Yeah.
explaining this a bit with Nish in a podcast, but if you visualize a 13-step pyramid, which is kind of what Spirit told me, think of it as a 13-step pyramid.
Okay.
And if you're walking up for the first 6, 7 is the peak, and then 8 would be the first step down from the peak going on the other side.
Got you.
Okay? So
I'm
that's
there.
where you're falling. You're that galactic,
Oh,
you're number 8.
first step. Oh, okay. The
The
first step
the
after the beat.
yeah, but
Wow.
and it's a really cool story, and I'll share it maybe another time or in a different format. But I'll start with 7 at the peak because that's relevant for you. At at 7, at the peak of the pyramid, which is when Nish and I recorded the season 2 premiere, by the way, which was
Wow.
so cool. Yeah, the resonant tone, resonant Sunday. That's when we did it. So
Wow.
much magic in there.
Wow.
So once you're at the peak of the pyramid, that's the highest place that you can receive from spirit, right?
Mhm.
So that's all about like being a channel and attunement, those people who are number 7s, right?
Mm.
And then for you, it's like you kind of get ah, at 7, and then you kind of go, okay, now I have to function in the real world in the 3D, and you step down
carrying that still, right?
It's like an embodiment, and it's the tone of integrity. Harmonize is the action, model is the power and the essence of integrity. So what Spirit said to me was, after you've been to the peak of the pyramid and have like seen God, how are you not in your integrity?
Right.
You are walking with integrity from this point on, because it's like you've been there and
You've
now
seen
you're
that.
coming down,
Yeah.
and you're here to like model that for people.
There's no way to hide from that. Yeah, you have to be in integrity. I
You're
see.
you're modeling integrity, and your energy is constantly having to harmonize to keep that going. It's not like, you've arrived and then it's,
Yeah.
cakewalk. No, you have a practice, you have a flow about you that's your, daily meditation of harmonizing and modeling this. So
Mm, mm,
yeah, it's so
mm,
beautiful. Um,
that's beautiful.
yeah, so you're coming in number 8 out of a 13-day meditation flow wave, whatever you want to call it, song. And it's all about, the song that you're singing is integrity.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I'm
Really cool.
gonna have to look up the etymologies of that specific word.
Mhm.
It's one word I really haven't. I mean, I just haven't considered that particular word a whole lot.
I
Fascinating.
Hi Kenny. I
Thank
love the
you.
word integrity. So your word is integrity. My word is radiance.
I love the word radiance. I use that a lot.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah. Um, so I also love that with the Mayan, you can add people's energy together and see what they create. I love to do that in a group format. It's
Wow.
so
Yeah.
I've done it in like workshops that I've led and different classes that I've taught. Um, Always in real life, like in the physical. I've not done it with a virtual group, but I'm going to soon, I think.
We'll have to explore what our numbers add up to, and see where that goes. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I can tell you because um, you're an 8 and I'm a 5 tone,
Hmm.
which makes 13. So we're a cosmic tone.
Wow.
And then you're tribe number 4 and I've tribe number 9. So that's
Hmm.
13.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
So
Number.
we're a cosmic skywalker, and
Hmm.
we fall in the very first wave spell. So very like initiatory. We're right here.
Initiatory. Yeah.
Mhm. Um and just to wrap up your thing. So if you can see the Zolkin, it's almost like there's a left half, a right half, and then the middle.
Yeah.
So you're on the right half. You're in the exhale. You're right here. So
Okay.
just after the middle is what I call the exhale. So
Sort
it's
of like
like
the eighth step. Same
say
thing.
again.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Naviae. Go
Okay.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I
I
just
was
didn't
just
hear you.
it sounds like the eighth step. It sounds like the same concept.
It very much is, right? You see
Yeah.
that reflected again. So I think of it as like the inhale, the resonance in the center, and then the exhale back to spirit.
Yeah.
And then it's actually, you know, it there you go. It starts again, right?
Yeah.
It's a cycle. It's not just like over. So if you look at it like it reconnects back again. Yeah, it's super cool. And where it gets trippy, because it's not trippy yet, right?
Not at all.
You are in the red earth wave spell. So
Oh,
the red earth is what's snapping that sheet.
yeah.
The red earth tribe of synchronicity is what is snapping your sheet. And the red earth is my guide tribe, and it's also Nish's guide tribe.
Wow. That's fascinating. So are you saying that you said the red
Red earth.
say again?
The red earth.
Red Earth synchronicity. Is that so? Is that specific to the red Earth?
Yeah. Its
Wow,
power is synchronicity.
that's fucking because synchronicity. Yeah, like it's undeniable in my life. I mean, to weird details. Wow, and so you and Niche, that makes total sense based on everything that I've communicated with you guys. Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's like her and I have the same higher octave. And I really feel that with her. We're
Hmm.
right, we're both guided by navigation. And
Oh,
that's the power of the red earth. Navigation, synchronicity, and evolution. Those are like the
wow.
three kind of keywords for the red earth. Um, so one way to look at this is like whatever wave spell you are in, it's like you are that tribe, right? Because it's like the initiatory energy of the red earth created you. But
Mm.
then over the course of 13 days, it travels through different tribes for 13 days, right? So it's like I'm a red earth expressing as I'm a red earth manifesting as. So here you are, a red earth manifesting as a seed.
Mm.
That's like
Mm.
behind the curtain what's really going on.
Wow.
And it's a lot to take in, and it's this juicy kind of energy, um, multi-layer, multi-dimensional. But for people that resonate with it, they resonate with it.
It wouldn't be anything else than multidimensional and multi-layered in my world. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
So
red earth manifesting as a seed.
yeah, an earth manifesting as a seed, or a red earth manifesting as a yellow seed, if you want to get the colors in there.
Ah, right, yes. And so I imagine those colors have significance that maybe can you say anything about those? The colors?
Yeah. So the yellow tribe is the ripeners collectively.
Right.
All of the yellow tribes have that essence of ripening. Um, and the red tribes are the red colored clan, they call them. Clan is kind of a weird word, like,
I was
right?
like tribe, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
Um, but the red tribes are the initiators. So having that like sort of backdrop of being initiatory as the red earth, um, that's there. But then you also have the ripener. So it's like you're. It's so funny. Spirit just showed me. It's like they said he's laying the egg and then he's sitting on it,
Nice.
and that's a great visual
Yeah.
because it is like the laying the egg as the initiator, but then the ripeners have to sit on it.
Hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, that's a cool image. Thank you, spirits.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting too. I just want to speak to um, consent being a reader or a sensitive or an oracle in the modern day world. And I've worked in a lot of different situations, from psychic fairs to wood shops to you know yoga places, meditation places, and such like that over the course of the years. And um, sometimes I'll meet people like in a non professional way, and they'll find out who I am or what I do, and they're like, "What do you get from me?" Right away. What do you get from me? And I
Mm,
get that because it's sort of like when you meet um, a massage therapist, or
yeah.
like you want to be like, "Oh, I have," right? And I got that when I did massage professionally. "Oh, I have," and it's like right away people want to interact with what you do or who you are, right?
Yes.
Um, and I do that too. I totally get it. And it's a
Yeah.
way for people to connect, right? But I don't just start reading people. I have a really um a really like strong ethical uh approach to doing readings. And I'm not walking into a situation just scanning people. I don't
Mm.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that some readers do, and it's a little bit of a hook,
Mm.
and it's a little bit unethical, and it's definitely non-consensual. And I just want to put it out there for folks who are growing their psychic abilities and growing their oracular abilities. Awesome, but keep in mind that the contract is people have to ask for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it has to be a consensual thing. It
Mm-hmm.
and as someone who's sensitive, when people start to read me and I didn't ask for it, it
You
feels
know.
invasive and rapey and slimy, and I'm like, what
Yep.
are you doing? Because I
Yep.
can feel that, and it's not
Yeah.
okay. And we have to be respectful of each other. And that doesn't mean that I'm not getting like pings about people, but I'm not trying to coerce, people to get a reading with me by being like, oh, your mom died and she's here. Like, I'm not doing that. And I think
Right.
that's kind of creepy. Um,
Yeah, it's like the massage therapist at the party who goes around massaging, people's shoulders trying to, get some business.
yeah. And it's like your level of familiarity with people, because
Something.
sometimes I'm just having a conversation with my friend, or I have a lot of other seers I do trades with,
Mm.
and I know that we both kind of have this open line of like, girl, if you get something for me, tell me, and vice versa. So it's
Sure.
my shields are down and we're in that space, and it's maybe we're having a chat, but it's also kind of like warping into, I'm going to pull a card, or I'm getting something, or you know what I mean. It's different. um
Mm-hmm.
but I
It
just,
is. There's an assumed familiarity or something, right? I mean, I understand.
yeah, it's like permission's already been granted, and
Yeah.
we're open, and like that level of trust is there, it's established.
Yeah.
But I will admit, I didn't know I was even scanning. I was unaware I was even doing it. And that's why I bring it up for the folks who are, getting going, or maybe are established readers and don't know that they're doing it, because it's happening. I was in a passenger seat driving by a bus stop. This is maybe like 10, 11 years, 10, 11 years ago, maybe. And I passed, so I wasn't driving, I was just kind of along for the ride. And I'd had a little devil's lettuce, right, as Nish says, and day off, just frolicking. And I looked over, and there's the bus stop, and I felt myself throw my net over there and be like, "What's that all about?" And then I got all this information from the people at the bus stop, and I was like, "Oh God!" And I got a migraine, and I was like sick the whole day, useless. And I realized I had just totally scanned that group of people
Oh,
non-consensually. They didn't ask. What do I need to know that so and so has an alcohol addiction and his wife just left him? And like, oh my God, I don't need to know all this.
wow.
Like, none of my business. Non-consensual. Why? And now I'm sick from it. So
Wow.
it was a big wallop in my face from spirit to let me know, you're doing this, and don't stop it.
Yeah.
And it I had to really pull my energy back, because I was doing it every day at work. I was working at a place where I was doing, 5, 6, 7 readings, three,
So
four,
you're
five
always,
days a week. So I was just kind of always on, you
yeah.
know. Um, Now in my private practice, it's, well, with COVID, it's all virtual. So folks can do like a video chat with me or a phone, and some folks just want a written transcript. So they'll send me, and I always say, have to give me permission. I ask for permission.
Yes.
Um, and then they'll say, okay, you have my permission, and I'm asking about whatever. And they'll say, I want 30-minute reading. And I'll just write. I'll just go into trance with their question and write it, and they have a written transcript. But it's not um, it's not because it's not been requested, is my point.
Yes. Right. And I think one other point to speaking to that is that it can be damaging. It's almost like interpreting someone's dreams without them asking, and also it's a different language than they're using to interpret their own dreams. So it can fuck up their path, you know. And I think the same is true with an oracle reading or something like that. If you get a reading on someone and you just tell them, they may not be ready for that. That's your information, right? I guess.
It's a dicey, like, case by case situation, because see, okay, this is where the path kind of diverges for me. I've had people come into my readings and I know that I'm getting downloads from spirit, and I also know how they're going to react to it. And I have that human moment of like, I don't want to be the one to drop this bomb on them. Like, this is awful, or this is like big, or this is going to shatter their illusion about, this is going to bust something for them, you know. And I'm kind of like, ugh. And then I hear, like, spirit will say, tell them, like, loud in my head, tell them. And I have to go, okay, this isn't for me to like edit, or, you know. And that's where all that compassion can come in, where I'm like, okay, girl.
Discerning compassion. Discerning.
Yeah. And say it in a way that is gentle, and hold space with them as they process it and receive it. You know what I mean? So it's like I have to be totally neutral, and then also totally in my heart and compassionate.
Yeah.
It's been such an evolution for me as a reader over the years. It's been really cool and really humbling, and yeah, it's good.
I love it. Where were we at with my reading? Did I take us totally off?
We are on the wave, Chander.
On the wave. Oh, that's a question I had for you. I don't understand. Maybe we want to get it to another time, but I don't quite understand the wave part of what you're talking about.
Okay.
So, except for the cheat, the initiatory thing.
Yeah. So the calendar is actually quite linear, because it's starting here and it's going 1 to 13. It's color coded. That's the red dragon wave. And then it starts again at the white.
I was just thinking a red dragon. I mean, dragon. That's how I understood that concept when you first talked about it. It's like a dragon whipping his tail. It's like the same strike. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the red dragon initiates the whole calendar.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
Yeah, you're in tune to it. I love this count. This Zolkeen is amazing. There's so much magic here.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how the waves work. It goes from the first tribe initiates it, it rides the wave for 13 days, and then it starts over again. And it goes 1 to 13 20 times, and then ends here at the kin 260.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how those waves, like the energy of the waves and stuff, but I know that's a subtlety that is a little more advanced, probably.
Yeah, it's whatever tribe initiates the wave, that wave is infused with that tribe's energy for 13 days. And the wave that you came in on day 8 is the red earth.
Red earth, yeah.
But if you look at, maybe where there's confusion is, so here's the red earth, right? Mm-hmm. So the red earth tribe is here.
Okay.
Red earth tribe, tone 1, and then you have the wave spell for 13 days. And where you came in is here. You're number 8 of that. I can't do it backwards. There you go. Of the red earth wave. I can't do it backwards. I literally, like, spatially cannot do it.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, so you're day 8 of the red earth wave spell. And yeah, you're the galactic tone, and the seed is about target awareness and flowering. And one of the cool things about the seed is that, and think about what a seed is all this like creative potential energy.
Yeah.
It's like your seed is planted, and then what's the potential of it's going to grow. So it's like fertility and creativity and like that, like all that genetic language is contained there. You know what I mean? It's like a little condensed pocket of potential
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what
I
that seed
feel.
is.
Hmm.
So I'm so glad that you're into Kundalini yoga and processing your sexual energy, your creative chi, because the seeds need to do that. If you don't have, um, like um, a Shakti release or a Shakti transmutation, I've seen seeds kind of go a little haywire.
I see.
There has to be like a transmutation of that creative energy. If not an
Yeah.
outlet, you know, there has to
Trans-
be, yeah,
Mhm.
because it builds up. It needs to be transmuted, transformed, released, what have you. Because there's
Yeah.
so much,
Energy doesn't just disappear. It has to go somewhere. Yeah.
yeah, and the seeds have a lot of it.
Hmm.
The seeds
Hmm.
have a tremendous amount of it.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
What about the
Uh,
galactic tone?
the galactic tone is number 8, so 8 out of 13,
Oh,
and
that's. Oh, okay.
that's where the galactic comes in.
I see.
The tone is where you resonate in the wave spell.
So it's like it's this pyramid, the
You can
steps in the
you
pyramid.
can you can think of it as the steps of the pyramid. That's one
Pyramid.
visual, or you can think of it as the wave motion for 13 days. Both are
Yeah.
13, but it's just different ways of getting your head around it.
Yes. I see. They both. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
What about actual tones? Are there tones that correspond to this that you can listen to?
I think there are, but I don't know them.
Fair.
I'm sure they're written somewhere in my notes, but it's not. I'm not a musician, so it's
Hmm.
not something that is a
Okay.
language I'm fluent in.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have seen them. That'd be cool to like dig into.
Yeah. It'd
But
be interesting to like make music based upon that somehow.
oh my gosh, if like everyone could play the note of their tribe or
What would,
their wave,
what would
how they
happen?
are in the wave. I don't know. Um, One time though, I was doing the singing bowls with my teacher with Fantasia Odus that taught me
Mm,
this,
mm,
and
love
we
those.
had an earthquake while we were toning.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
Whoa.
things started. We were outside, and things started to like feel like there was a rumble, and she looked at me and she said, "Was that us?" I said, "I think so." But we get earthquakes a lot here. This was on in Hawaii when that happened. But
Still,
yeah,
it makes no difference. That's still synchronous.
mhm, yeah, it's so amazing. And yeah, I just want to honor her just for a minute. So my teacher was named Fantasia, and she had a name change upgrade a few years after I met her to Odus.
What is
Um,
it?
Odus was
Produce.
the other name that she went by, but I met her as Fantasia, so I kind of link it together. I can say Fantasia Odus.
Mm.
Um, but she was a like supreme mystical being, um, full of love and kindness and wisdom and magic. I mean, she taught me so much about being a priestess and being a woman. And I had come from a very like, um, you know, almost like Wiccan background in a way, witchcraft, paganism, and sort of like shamanism were the three main things that I was focused on before I met her.
Mm.
And was doing tarot since I was 18, but I wasn't like looking for another system. Like I wasn't looking for an oracular system like the Mayan dream spell, until it landed on my lap and wouldn't go away, and then set me on a journey to find her. So it really was one of those things that um, was so loud in my periphery that I had to follow the synchronicity, breadcrumbs to get to it. So thank you for letting me share it with you and share it with everyone, and encourage people to learn about it, because it really is such a cool system of magic.
I, I'm amazed, and I think just a note, okay, to everybody out there who's watching, listening, whatever, you should definitely check out what Naviae has to offer with this, and she's just Naviae's got so much in general. I mean, but and it all lends to a specific, a unique perspective on the Mayan material in particular. And all I'm saying is, go check out what Naviae is doing. And I'm blessed and honored that you are sharing that with us and with me. And thank you. I know that's I mean, that's a gift. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm just enjoying co-creating and collaborating, and it's so much fun to have someone to bounce ideas and conversation and go into the deep woo with. And you're such a pleasant, joyful, you can feel how spiritual and how you walk your walk. And my seed brother, I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
We'll have to talk about, I'm very curious about how, because you were just mentioning that thread, like the red earth thread, and so just how to work with that, and how to work with that together.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then, so.
Well, I think of the wave spell. So I'm born in the serpent wave, which is interesting. So that's a whole other story. But I'm a serpent manifesting as a moon.
Okay.
And, yeah. And I really, feel that. That's like, when I discovered that, it blew my head off. It really did. And someday I'll share with you some of the background about it. But
love it.
Yeah.
If you want to share it in a public forum, we'll do a show sometime. If you just want to talk, that's cool too.
Yeah, I'll think about it. It's so superbly personal. I'm not sure I want to share, at least right in this moment. But
yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, knowing what wave you come in on seems to be key for me in understanding, like, kind of like the bigger purpose of who we are, what we're doing here. And knowing your tribe and tone is sort of like the focus or the job in like a more mundane way. But the wave is more like for you to know who you are, like where you came from, your origin, in a way, kind of like your superhero identity, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool context for that.
Yeah. And so just to wrap up with Fantasia Odus, she was a yellow magnetic warrior, and
that
she
sounds
really,
awesome.
yeah, and so they talk about being a warrior. It's different than what we think of. It's very like that martial artist type of warrior, like the power of intelligence and that strength that comes from, battling yourself and battling your own, you know. Yeah.
It's like what we were talking about, or what I was talking about earlier about not a fighter. It's not a fighter. It's not a warrior about war, but it's that what you just said, that strength, that archetype of strength and power and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and like maybe the great fight is with yourself, to refine into becoming the most like coolest version of yourself. That's what it seems like it was, the way that she embodied it, at least.
She sounds amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing wherever she is in the cosmos right now. Yeah. Thank you, Fantasia Odus, wherever you are. I'm sure you're listening, because she would be so thrilled that I'm getting the word out because that was really her mission for sure. She would, when I was maybe like 4 months of like every day, like today is the da 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 day, and we're gonna learn about this, and go meet
Right.
people that were this tribe and tone or whatever. Um, it was, I think, about 4 months, and she handed me this, and she said, "Okay," she said, "I'm done teaching you. You have to go learn now." And I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" And she said, "Go to the beach and make some friends here."
Wow.
And I did. And I hitchhiked all around this island and went to different beaches. And I would just get my materials out and sit there in a shady spot. And people would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Do you know your Mayan and Galactic astrology?" And they'd be like, "No, what's that?" Because people want
Cool.
to know. And I'd be
Sure.
like, "Oh, wow, you're a la la la." And, decode their daughter, decode their partner. And I'd be like, "Oh my God, you make," like, I would add people together and say that they made their child,
Wow.
you know, it was, it was cool. The interpersonal aspect of it was really one of the best parts for me.
Especially
And
after walking that and learning it for 4 months and stuff, and then seeing it in the real world, right? I mean,
yeah, and it was probably the best thing that she could have done for me because, she didn't want to be a guru, and I don't want to be a guru. I want people to be their own guru,
mm,
and
mm,
um, that's why we teach. That's why we share, so that we can, this is the nugget that spirit gave me, and through your own lenses and filters, process it and then make it something for you. Make it relatable to something that you can, you know, get juicy with. Um, but yeah, she like cut the reins on me, and she's like, "I'm done teaching you. You're gonna go out and you're gonna learn more than I know." And there was a lot of things that she didn't dive into about the system that really spoke to me. She wasn't so into like the wave spells or the castle. There's a whole like other side of things that is really more intense and deeper, and she wasn't so into it.
hmm.
She just like knew what she knew and shared as much as she could with everyone that would listen about it, and then she was like, I don't compute the rest. And I have stuff about it too that people are like, "Oh, are you into la la?" And I'm like, I hit my wall with it, and I don't know that much about it because that's not where I'm resonating. And that's okay. I don't have to be like, know the full all the mathematic formula about everything. I don't work that way. So yeah, but there is that tendency with a system that you've been studying a long time is to learn all the intricacies of it, right?
Yes. Yep. And you also, like, I'm putting that in the context of martial arts and maybe some of the other spiritual stuff I've done and stuff, but I don't know. There's a point at which you're either carrying on a lineage and you want to preserve that lineage in its purest form, or you're a living embodiment of the knowledge or the art, and you need to express it and grow, right?
Agreed. Yeah. But I mean, everyone that I hear you, and I feel like everyone who studies a path or a system or, learns um, about, a subject, it's like you change that subject a little bit by
Mm-hmm.
your experience with it. And
Mm-hmm.
it adds to the greater collective of something
Mm-hmm.
because now you're like putting your awareness on it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's expanding and infused now.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. So I'm gonna wrap up, but I just wanted to say that um we just kicked off a new wave spell. We're in the hand wave spell.
The
So
hand,
the blue hand,
blue
yeah,
hand.
the Manik tribe, Manik. And if people are interested, they can go to my Instagram, and there's a reel, or I guess it's a story. I don't even know. It's in my highlights. I did it with Inner Sky Alchemy, Janine, and she did the Visible Sky, and I did the Mayan Dream Spell yesterday.
Yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah, and they can watch it, and I talk all about how we're in a new wave spell, what's about, and how it affects and is relevant to the new moon. Um, So that's there if people want to get more info on that.
I'll be sure and link that down below after we get off.
Okay, cool.
For sure, check out her Instagram and her and I forget the name now. It's Lucid Sky Mystic.
Janine?
Yeah, yeah.
She's Inner Sky Alchemy, and
Inner Sky Alchemy. She's sorry.
I'm a wandering witch, but that was already taken, so I had to do a_wandering_witch, and that's my Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Facebook business page that's just a wandering witch. So whatever one you're on or both, I'm on there. That's really it for social media. I don't tweet or anything, and I'm not doing my own YouTube thing really. And I have my Patreon, patreon.com/a_wandering_witch.
Nice.
And I have my podcast, which is a Wandering Witch podcast, and that's on Spotify for sure, and then other portals it pops up on. But my Anchor app that publishes it does that all for me, so I don't really even know where it all goes. I just hit like publish, and off it goes into the ethers. But I listen to it on Spotify. For sure, it's there.
Awesome. It's definitely worth a listen. Great stuff.
And if anyone wants a Mayan dream spell reading or Akashic record reading or a clairvoyant tarot, like whatever you want to call it, just a intuitive session, I offer those. And I have that on my website, awanderingwitch.com. You can just check out right there, or you can always direct message me on any of the portals. And I have something called Linktree. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's because Instagram limits you how many live links you can put on your bio or even in your posts. You can't, like, there's no clickable links anywhere. I don't know why Instagram does that. Facebook doesn't limit it, but Instagram does. So there's something called Linktree, and there you can just click one link and it gives you all these different portals you can get to. So
nice.
Yeah, that was a nice find for me, and I want to encourage people to get their own link trees and check out mine. And it is linktr.ee/a_wandering_witch. And there I have links to my website, my Patreon, my podcast, my blog, all that stuff. So,
dude, that's good information for me too as a creator. Thank you. Cool.
Yeah. I wanted to put that out there for you and whoever else feels limited that they can't get out, it's like access all my portals. There's lots of places, but it's like you have to remember 16 different Patreon website, and it's like just go to Linktree and then they're all right there. And in my pod, I have like no affiliation with them or anything, but on my podcast I was promoting them just so people could find mine and encourage other creators to have an option like that. And I said it's one link to rule them all.
Oh, that's perfect.
It really is. It's one link to rule them all. I would love that. Linktree, if you're listening, hit me up.
One link to rule them all. Come on.
One link to rule them all. I mean, I'm stealing it from Lord of the Rings, but
of course, but
it's fun. One link to rule them all.
Sweet. I'm new to Instagram, so thanks for all that input. Yeah.
Absolutely. Aw. Well, this has been such a delight.
It's been awesome. Thank you. And I look forward to our next show, and we'll see each other and do some stuff in between now and the next time. But when do you expect our next show to be then, based on the moon? Do you know the date?
I don't know the date. But it'll be sometime in the next waning moon, next waning crescent.
Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be right on the last chance moon like we did this time.
That'd be ideal. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And on a magical level, if people are out there like, what do I do for magic on the last chance moon?
That's what I meant to ask you. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, good. And just, real quick, like I call it the last chance moon because it's sort of like the last glimmer that you'll see the moon in the sky, probably. is tonight, and then it goes dark. So it's like anything that you want to unburden yourself with. It's a good time for divination, and it's also a good time to like purge. For me, that's what it feels like.
Wonderful. Everybody take that to heart. See if it feels resonant. It does to me, right as you say it.
Yeah, and the new moon is going to be in Sagittarius this month, according to the visible sky. The actual sky or visible sky.
That's another thing we're gonna have to go into sometime.
Yeah, because if you take one of those free star apps that you can get for your phone and you look up on the new moon is going to be in the Archer constellation. And I'm going to snap that on my phone and send it on my social media so you can see. Tropical astrology is a seasonal astrology, and I follow actual sky, what's going on when you look up in the sky above you right now, real time.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a different lens to put your awareness on.
I like that too. Different lens. Oh, that one doesn't quite work, but that's just right.
CRISPR 1, CRISPR 2. That's what my eye doctor says.
Right.
CRISPR 1, CRISPR 2.
Not to be confused with cloning or anything like that, but no, CRISPR.
Yeah, not that kind of CRISPR. Different. CRISPR as in like clearer.
Yeah. Like you said that I looked when we first got on today. I looked crisp. So crisp.
You did look crisp. That's the word for today.
I'm a little disheveled at this point, but
girl, me too. The last thing that we did, I had just finished a Patreon video and I had drank my whole cup of coffee, and I went back and looked on the feed from yesterday. All my lipstick was eaten off. I had been like eating my coffee, and I was like, oh, not cute.
I didn't like that for that kind of thing, but
I gotta freshen up my mug before I go on camera again.
Yesterday was goofy. I after we got off the feed, I just did nothing worthwhile. I just had to regroup. Weird energy, but still was good that we had it. Thank you for being there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always I look forward to our chats and our time.
Me too, big time. Hey, I just want to say I just got a little message from someone, and so I just want to give a quick shout to some stuff I got going on tonight. I'll be recording a show with Keats from Prag Magic. Yeah, it's gonna be my first interview. I can't wait. At least in recent times, and I'm psyched. We're going to be centering mainly on Korodama Inochi medicine, so Japanese medicine. And then later this week, I have tentative interviews lined up with Joe Roop, Jerry Cthulhu, and it looks like maybe Derek Hunter just agreed to one. Looks like maybe.
Aww.
So yeah, what a fucking great week. And biggest news ever. When I was hooking things up with Jerry this morning, he asked me to be a guest on Nox Mente this Wednesday. What? So I'm going to be on Nox Mente Wednesday. That's like a dream come true. It's my favorite podcast. They're one of the reasons that I started doing what I'm doing. I can't wait. I'm so honored.
Same. Oh, that is exciting. Yes. You're like all this week?
Yeah, all this week.
Oh my gosh. You better get your rest.
There's some good energy in the gym.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Huh? Boom. Oh.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
It's like a metaphor, bull in the horns.
Don't get me started on that movie. I love it. Oh, I'm such a goofball. Oh, Chander. Well, thank you so much for this.
Sometimes I'll quote dodgeball to myself and just laugh.
Oh, yeah. Same.
Well, kiddo.
We need that this time.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Dodge many wrenches, and I look forward to our next time together.
Ahui-ho!
Ahui-ho. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for being around.
Thank you, everyone who listened, who was in the chat, and who will be listening in the future.
Give them a quick shout. Charles Williamson, Prag Magic, Barbara. What was the last name?
Charlton. Thank you for coming and stopping by, everybody.
Oh, and really Spooky. Means a lot. I didn't even see.
Hi, Spooky.
Hey. Well, thank you so much.
Much love and aloha. A hui ho.